simple. I never clueless. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. Me, I'm gonna own it. Day one, stay focused. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, I'm independent, I don't play. I'm talking Boston to the Bay. Way up in the north to LA. I'm being me, I'm here to stay. Since you've been through hell and back, and you see you put your hands up. Yeah, so if you've been through hell and back, then you hear you got to speak up. Yeah, we gotta get loud. 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 Always on my hustle. Yeah, they call me trouble. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. The card is always heavy. Only wear it if you're ready. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh. We're independent, we don't play. I'm talking Boston to the Bay. Even in New York and LA. Yeah, this is our time, we're here to stay. Since you've been through hell and back, and you see you put your hands up. Yeah, so if you've been through hell and back, and you hear you got to speak up. Yeah, we gotta get loud. 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 We all have doubt and live with scars. No, they don't erase. All what needs are nothing to find.
Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining the Garnette Report.
Thanks for having me, you guys. I feel like my face is so big on the screen. It like got zoomed in or something.
I feel like that all the time. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much, you guys, for having me. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm doing great. So that was your latest single, Hell and Back, which is available on all streaming platforms right now. So everybody go stream that. And it's pronounced AZRA.
Yes, it's AZRA. Yep, you got it.
Great. She's a recording artist, a singer, songwriter, performer, hip-hop dancer, model, entrepreneur. You really do it all. Okay, and so I think that about covers it. I was going to say, tell me a little bit about yourself so that everyone can know who you are.
Sure. Well, so I'm AZRA, and I think you pretty much covered all the little titles, but you know, yes, I am a substance pop artist. So I do music, I write music, I dance, and I just like to connect with everyone and people to just you know live out my mission. And my mission behind all the artistic endeavors and everything that I do is to basically go and to inspire other people so that you guys can go after your dreams, because I really believe that all of us have the biggest potentials to be able to achieve whatever we want, and it's just a matter of just kind of igniting that from within us. And if I can kind of add to and contribute to that even just a little bit, I did my job. So that's my dream.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
So that's your dream. You're inspiring others you're kind of doing the ripple effect in the sense that you're inspiring others to also follow their dreams as well. Can you explain to us what is a substance artist?
Yeah, so substance pop, I kind of created that genre myself, actually. So it's basically pop music with a lot of meaning and depth. So I came up with this idea after suffering with an eye condition called juvenile glaucoma. So I was actually half blind for a little bit. This was like, you know, back in college when I was in between college during summer vacation when I was living in New York City, and was like, you know, it was the summer and I'm like, I'm not going back home to NorCal. I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to follow my dreams. I'm going to like join a girl group and start dancing and do all that. And one day I woke up half blind and I couldn't see out of my right eye. And that was kind of the beginning of the journey into me discovering the substance pop world. So during that time, even though I was half blind and I was told that I couldn't do the things that I love, which is like dancing or anything that required pressure, I had to stop. And even though it was a hard time, I realized, getting through that, I realized what was really important to me, which is, there's more to what meets the eye. So I realized it's good to seek substance and seek depth in things. So that's basically what substance pop means is, pop music that's still catchy, you can dance to, you can sing along, but it has a lot of depth and meaning.
Oh my God, your journey, your story is just so unbelievable. Everything you went through, and you moved to New York with the dreams of like pursuing your dreams, and just to have to go through that, and I guess like away from your family. Did you have family in New York at all?
So I have relatives in New York, but my direct family, they were in NorCal. So it was like I went to college in Boston, and then my mom was actually like, come home. She's like, you're always doing something. You're always busy. She's like, come home this summer. Don't do anything. Just hang out, just literally just hang out in the summertime. But then I was like, no, Mom, I'm staying. I'm going to New York. I'm going to go do what I want to do. And yeah, I lived in New York by myself. And then I thought I was all good. I'm like, I'm invincible. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And literally like one day I woke up and things changed and I had to learn how to pivot. I had to kind of, because before that happened with my eye, I thought I was completely invincible. And my focus towards a lot of things were more external than internal. And I think that experience really helped me kind of shift my perspective a little bit and kind of start this journey of the sixth dimension and substance pop life.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Not amazing that you had to go through that, but the fact that it was an eye-opening experience for you and you were able to evolve, and so has your passion as well. And so, wow. How many years ago was that?
I don't know. I think I can't count. It was definitely a while ago. It was definitely a while ago. Yeah.
Okay. So when did you first identify with this music, and like when did you first have that I love music moment? And
I've actually been asked that question before, and I don't remember like that moment because ever since, sorry, that's my dog in the background. If you hear him barking.
He wants to be a part of the interview.
Always. But so I basically kind of was born into like a musical like family environment. So my mom, she always sang in choirs, even when she was having me, when she was pregnant with me. She would take me to, she would go to her choir practice, choir rehearsals, and then like she'd be like rubbing her belly, and she told me she was like always singing to me when she was having me. So I think it was kind of ingrained in me. So when you ask me like, oh, when was the first time you realized like you love music? It was very natural.
It wasn't a moment.
Yeah, it was that, like it was always there. But I think, in terms of when I realized, oh, I want to go after this, like professionally, it was kind of a gradual development. But really, like for sure, is when I dropped my first EP, Freedom, back in 2017.
Amazing. Amazing. So your mom is a singer too.
She is a beautiful singer. She's not like a professional singer, but she has an amazing voice. Yes, she's always sang.
Amazing. Where are you from originally?
So I was born in South Korea. So I was born
Shout out to
there,
South
and
Korea.
hey, yes, yes. And I moved here when I was 9, to San Jose, California, and then I went to middle school and high school in San Jose, and then I went to college in Boston. So.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
How was that transition like? Because you're coming from the West Coast where it's always warm, and now you're in Boston. What was that transition like for you?
It was cold and dramatic. Yes, to say the least. The funny thing is, I actually, this is so sad to say, I actually didn't even know where Boston was on the map. I underestimated the weather. So Boston University was my #1 choice that I wanted to go to, like, of college. So then, like, I ended up getting accepted. And I remember, like, I didn't even bother to look up, like, where Boston is. It was more like, I got in. Oh my God, that's it. And then I remember, like, finding out about this during my, like, AP Chem class or something in high school. And I literally went to the back of class. I really should have been paying attention to my teacher. But I went to the back and I was just, like, going on the computer, like, checking my, like, stuff. And then when I got the letter, and I remember this so vividly, I, like, slammed the desk and I was like, oh, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then I left and never back for the day. So yeah. But yeah, it was a big change. I didn't even pack, like, snowshoes when I went to Boston.
No, yeah. I mean, how could you even imagine that some other place would be this cold, you know?
Oh yeah, it was so cold. I remember the first snowstorm in Boston. I hope the winter is not too cold this year, but yeah, I remember the first snowstorm. I walked out and people were, like, wearing very tall boots, like, going to class, and I'm like, who wears boots for snow? I'm like, like, I'm going in my sneakers. And then, like, after class, I'm like, oh, I'm going. I need my boots.
Yeah. Sneakers are dangerous. You could slip, etc. Oh my God, yeah. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. I mean, you're in the West Coast and it's so warm. Like, you don't really have a cold winter per se. Mm-hmm. So it's just different. It's like
it is very different. It's very different, but I think cold places also are really beautiful. You know, like, Boston's such a beautiful city. New York, you know, living in New York, you know, visiting Philly and all these places. Like, yes, it does get freaking cold, but I mean, there's some fun things that you can do when there's, like, a snowstorm outside, right? Absolutely. Like, and in Cali, like, we don't get to experience that unless, like, we drive 2 hours somewhere. So I do miss it. Where are you located?
I'm in New York City.
Oh, dope. Okay. Yeah. All right, city girl. How are you guys doing with COVID and everything? Are things okay? Are things better?
Things are semi getting better. I feel like it hasn't fully opened up. Honestly, it's not going to, because it's still out there and it's still very real. However, indoor dining just opened up, I think, early October, late September. Yeah, September 30th, but only to 25% capacity.
Okay.
So it's getting weird because it's gonna get colder. So we don't know what's gonna happen, and, you know, like, dining out is just part of our social life. We love going out. We love
dining out.
It's just getting cold, so unless they have, like, the heating lamps, it's really impossible to.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Hug it. Hold on to it and then eat food. Like.
Exactly. So it might not even be worth it sometimes, and only 25% capacity for indoor dining. So it's a change. It's very different, but we're slowly trying to open back up.
Exactly. Oh, I saw somebody saying, yeah, if we want to snow, we go to Big Bear. That's right.
Big Bear.
Yeah, we like Big Bear.
That's right, with the cabins and stuff.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope I get to go out there this year. I hope so.
How far is that from where you are now?
It's about, like, 2.5 hours, so it's not too bad.
Not bad.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what have you been up to during the pandemic?
So much actually. So not much has slowed down on my end during the pandemic. So I've been creating music. So just creating and collaborating with other, creatives, my team on new stuff. So stay tuned. And then just like kind of, continuing on and building my craft. So I've been singing a lot. I've been taking piano lessons to just improve my piano skills. What else? Dance. I haven't done as much yoga as I want to. I actually used to do yoga 4 times a week or more. But because of the pandemic, yeah, I definitely miss it. And I try to do it, but I just get caught up sometimes with other stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been good, and I've been doing a lot of self-care, a lot of connecting with family, a lot of friends, just like having more interactions, just doing a lot more Zoom sessions, FaceTime, and just taking care of each other, because I think right now is so, it's so sensitive for everybody, right? Like we're dealing with a lot externally as well as internally. So just trying to, balance that.
How are you able to take your piano lessons? Would it be virtually?
Piano lesson. Yeah, so far it's been virtual. I take it with my piano teacher virtually, which was kind of different in the beginning, but you get used to it. And then I also go on YouTube for lessons.
Oh yes,
yeah. There's so much good stuff out there.
Its own school. They should have a YouTube Academy, because you can learn so much just off of tutorials.
Technology.
Technology, what are you gonna do? It's just so advanced these days.
Yeah.
But super helpful, especially during the pandemic, when people are no longer able to, get together during social distancing. Has COVID changed any of your plans that you had this year?
We definitely had to pivot. In terms of music and everything, yes, things did have to change and kind of, pivot. I think that's a really popular word this year, right? So the last single I dropped before the pandemic was Dangerous. And I remember, we dropped the single, this was end of February, and I had a single release show at Madame Siam, which is a beautiful, like a cool venue in Hollywood. And we had this big show. It was like packed. Everybody was having so much fun. And then obviously there was like the Grammy, all this event, and we had so many plans. And then after that show, I flew to Orlando to perform at a college festival in front of I think it was like in front of like over 100 colleges or something around that East Coast, the southern region. Okay. And it was a great opportunity, great show. And then literally the week I came back, it was beginning of March, like the week after, it was like quarantine. So definitely had to pivot and, kind of take things virtual from outside.
Absolutely, because you were already performing at these shows, kind of like touring, and it was just like that was all. Entertainment was basically canceled.
Right, exactly. But you know what I realized though, I did go through a little period, maybe like a week after, being like, what's gonna happen? For a while, I think all of us were kind of in a little bit of a, we were like, oh, things are gonna get better, right? We went through that period. And during that time, I was just talking to my team. We're like, what are we going to do? Da, 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 da. And what really made me realize is that even during the quarantine and shutdown, yes, I might not be able to go out and perform and connect with everybody physically, but, you guys are still there. Like my supporters and my fans and the people that connect with me and through my music, like you guys are there. So I need to just continue to create, continue to put things out and connect. So yeah, I mean, it took me a while to get used to this whole virtual situation, doing like streaming shows. But I think when I shifted my focus to, it doesn't matter even if I can't tour physically, like we got to do this. Like I have to do this.
Absolutely. So you were able to adapt in a sense that you use technology to be able to stream the shows that you would have done otherwise in person.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And also you mentioned your fans, which you gave a name to, is AZRA Deities?
Yes. AZRA deities, yes. Shout out to AZRA deities. I love you guys.
Amazing. So you mentioned you were into hip hop. For like an example of your talent, because you are a singer, a songwriter. What other talents do you have?
Other talents? Like other than music and stuff like that? Well, I can eat. I can eat. I can eat.
Girl can eat.
Yes, I like food. Yes, so I think being able to appreciate food and being able to, enjoy, different types of food is a talent. So yes, I also love skincare. So I don't know if it's a talent, but I'm very obsessed with it, and
Yeah.
I'm like a forever student about it, just as I am for music and all that I do. So yeah.
Absolutely. How did you get into hip hop dance?
I've always kind of been a singer, a dancer as well, but I remember my first exposure to hip hop was when I was like 7 years old in Korea, and we had to put on like a recital. And usually like I played the piano and the violin, so we were like thinking of, okay, maybe
Girl,
like
that's a talent right there. You play piano and violin. How you got that out? That's amazing. You play instruments. That's a talent.
Yes.
Sorry about
Thank
that.
you.
Anyway, continue. So.
Oh no. Yeah. So whatchamacallit? So it was when I was like 7, and for the recital, like that was when I was actually getting into like K-pop because I was in Korea. So K-pop. Just side note, like I know K-pop is huge now, but K-pop was always huge in Asia and in other parts. Okay. So, back in the day, so when I was 7, like that was when I was like starting to listen to K-pop. My mom was a huge fan of Michael Jackson and the Beatles. So actually those two artists were the music that I've listened to since I was young, but I got exposed to K-pop. And basically, one of my girlfriends from my class, her sister was a hip hop dancer. She was like a 6th grade, cool hip hop dancer. And my girlfriend's sister was like, oh yeah, you guys are doing a recital. Like, oh, I'll choreograph and like help you guys. So it was me, 2 other girls, and 3 boys. And we literally learned hip hop from like doing like the waves, breaking. I wish I had videos, because just imagine like 7-year-olds, 7-year-olds on stage, like doing the breakdancing. But yeah, so that was my first exposure. And actually, there was one more. So that was when I actually performed it. But like a year before, I was in ballet class, and I remember like seeing a group of like older kids doing hip hop on the street somewhere in Korea. And and I remember after my ballet lesson, I threw my ballet flats at my mom, and I was like, Mom, I want to take it to the streets. And I just like threw the flats at her. So I think that was my first like maybe like revelation. Hilarious. I don't know, as a kid.
That is so hilarious. And that's like amazing to realize how big and influential hip hop is, that it would go across the seas on the other side of the world, and just people really dig it, and they're like,
absolutely. It's like hip hop has such a huge influence. I remember for my high school project, I was so passionate about hip hop and hip hop dancing specifically, because I'm a dancer. I did a whole senior project on the hip hop dance culture. And of course, like I had so much to learn, but as part of that project, I worked with like a local couple middle schools around the area, as well as the YMCA, and put together a recital for these kids, and also taught hip hop dancing. And, I actually got to present that at my high school. And I remember my teacher just being like everyone else did like other senior projects on like, different topics, but then I was the only one who did it on like hip hop dance. So I remember like bringing in kids and showing them the video in front of the class. I'm like, this is the result of the project. And they're like, what? So you danced the whole time? And I was like, yeah. I was like, now can I graduate?
That's amazing. Who were some of your biggest inspirations and influences in music growing up?
There's so many. I have so many artists that I look up to. Definitely growing up, Freddie Mercury from Queen,
Mm,
Michael Jackson. He was an amazing dancer artist,
mhm.
obviously. Whitney Houston. So I still sing. I love to sing her songs, and she's such an inspiration. And then obviously there's other artists, you know, like Pink, Madonna. I mean, the list goes on, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And do you create your own lyrics?
Yes, I do. I do write my own music, and then I also co-write as well with other amazing songwriters. And
Collaboration, yeah.
absolutely, that's key.
Absolutely. And what is the creative process like for you to create
That's a
your
great question. I think it varies every time. It just depends on like when inspiration hits. But typically when I'm writing and that's right. I'm just reading the comments. Yep, that's
yeah,
right. Whitney and Mike can never go wrong. That's right.
absolutely.
Um, Shout
Legends.
outs to Nipsey as well. And yeah,
Legends.
so my creative process is basically, you know, typically like I'll get inspired whether I'm like walking or doing something. And then, you know, whenever, like nowadays I use my phone, but sometimes like I like to write on a piece of paper. I like to like actually write on my notepad. So I'll just write like inspirational like ideas and things that pop up. And then, you know, I'll get on my keyboard and start thinking about like melodies. Sometimes the melody will just come and I'll
Yeah.
just do it. And then later I'll go on my keyboard. And then sometimes I'll hit up my co-writers and my friends and be like, hey, I have this idea, like check this out. And I'll just like shoot over a record, like a voice note. And then they'll send back their ideas and then it just kind of grows. So it really depends. Sometimes, you know, I go into the studio with an intention to write, and then we'll actually end up talking about life for like
Yeah.
2 hours, and it'll be like, oh shoot, we have to write, and then we'll end up writing. Yeah, so it really depends.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Collaboration is definitely important, especially in production and any types of productions. It's just it really takes a village. So
Yeah,
that's just how much better it can be. Like it could be next level once you have that team you really have synergy with. You know what I
I
mean?
love that word, synergy. Yep.
Yeah, that's so important. So just this year in 2020, you've been selected as a Grammy Next Artist by Recording Academy as one of the future leaders in music. What was your reaction to this when you first heard the news?
Oh man, thank you so much. That's cool that you like researched it. Yes, I mean I was so honored and really excited because you know growing up I've always watched the Grammys and looked up to the artists and the writers, like all the creatives and the business and the people behind it. So when I got that, you know, note and the announcement, I was just so excited. And I'm like, wow, you know, it's just another way to kind of see that like I am, you know, I am moving forward and that I am able to connect with some amazing people. And I just feel very lucky. And I know there's so much more work to do ahead of me, obviously, but it was definitely a moment where I just felt really, really excited and grateful.
Yeah, I would assume that would be one of the most rewarding feelings of being an artist, you know, and like putting in the work and getting that recognition could definitely be
Mhm.
like a rewarding feeling. So I was going to ask, what are some of your challenging moments, and also what are some of the most rewarding moments for you as a musical artist?
I just want to say you're such a great interviewer. Like these are such great questions.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, some of the hardest moments. I think the artist journey. And I'm gonna be completely open with you because I'm always very open and I say what I want. But like, you know, being an artist is a journey. Okay, like it's like this, I must say.
Mm,
And when I do this, I'm saying like there's always going to be ups and there's always going to be downs. And I think that's part of the artist's journey. I think that's our human journey, right? And it's almost like if you have your ups, like you're always going to have the downs too. And that's what makes this experience so rewarding and awesome. But for me, like, I mean, I go through various types of challenges all the time, whether it's like, you know, me being in the studio and being like, like, you know, sometimes just being in my head sometimes, you know, and there are times when I'm like, wow, things are happening, but why do I feel so like, you know, anxiety about things? And I think I've dealt with that in the beginning more than now. I think now it's like I've kind of found my groove and pace and things, but I think this is something that a lot of us artists have to deal with and face. But at the end of the day, what I tell myself when I'm going through my ups and downs is to just remind myself like why I'm doing this, and then just think about my journey and just have that patience and that like trust. I think trust like in me, my journey, and the people who are around me is just, it's so important. Yeah. And then in terms of the ups, is that what you were asking, or?
Yeah, like challenges and rewarding moments. So
Yeah,
basically ups and downs.
ups and downs, yes. I think rewarding moments are just like moments of connection, you know, being able to, you know, getting DMs or getting messages or getting hit up by my supporters and fans when they ask me like, you know, tell me about my music touching them, or just like sharing their thoughts about my music or however they felt based on, you know, checking my stuff out, or just them sharing, you know, their experiences in life, and me being able to like listen to them and know that, you know, they were able to feel comfortable enough to reach out to me, because I'm always there. I'm listening. I'm there for my AZRA deities, and you know, I'm here. And the reason I do what I do and the reason I can do what I do is because of you guys, like because of my supporters and people that give a crap, you know, to listen. So I think that's like the biggest rewarding moments, you know, whether it's virtually on social media or at my virtual concerts or in person. Other rewarding moments, just being able to do what I love and, you know, share and have the people around me who believe in it and who work, you know, I can collaborate with to create, you know, music.
Absolutely. Beautifully put. Somebody here on the chat is saying, what type of music are you listening to? I would ask, what type of music are you listening to right now? What are you really into right now?
Right now, oh my God. So right now, I mean, I've always loved her, but lately I'm just blast and share, like left and right. Like, you know, I think she's such an amazing artist and her music is so uplifting, and it's just like, you know, like girl empowerment, you know?
Yes.
So I'm listening to a lot of Cher lately. I also listen to like a lot of like Disney music, because I think Disney songs are just so positive, and like I like to warm up with them too, because it really like stretches out my vocal cords and warms me up. And then obviously I have my other, like my hip hop playlist. I love the songs that are coming out so lately. So it varies, but really like I'm on that Cher train right now.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your lyrics?
I mean, that's not up to me to describe. It's up to the listeners.
I like that. So, and do you have any advice that you would give to, you know, young artists who are aspiring artists, musical artists, or just like in any field really, because you're saying this is more for a substance, so it goes like on levels. It's like universal kind of. So do you have any advice for people pursuing, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I would say that advice. I mean, I'm still learning, so like I'll just share my thoughts, okay? I would say, you know, whatever you're chasing, whatever you're going after, it doesn't have to be this hard mountain to climb. It doesn't. It really isn't. I think the most important thing about reaching your goals and how to reach your goals isn't necessarily about like being able to plan, you know, 1, 2, 3, like, you know, like just going after it relentlessly. Yes, hard work is absolutely important, but I think the more important part is to just listen to yourself and just following your good feelings towards it and trusting. I think having faith and trusting is the most important thing. You know, so that's number one, is like trusting in yourself and having that confidence, and then keeping your vision alive, like making sure you remind yourself of like what your dream is, what you're going after, and then understanding the why. Because when things get really hard, and things do get hard when you're going after something great and it's a dream that you love and you feel passionate about, like there's gonna be hard times. But when things are hard, the one thing that'll really ground you and that'll help you move forward is reminding yourself of why you started it and why you're doing it. You know, for me, instance, like when things get hard, when I feel like things are getting a little muggy up here and I'm just like, what's going on? Ah, get off. I start to think about, like, you know, the people, you know, the youth, you guys who I am literally working for. Because to me, if my stuff can touch you even 1%, and you guys gain something from that, like that's what means a lot to me, because I struggled so hard growing up, you know, wanting to go after my passions. And then I realized that it was all up to me to have that courage to go after it. So I think that's the third thing. And then last advice is have fun. You know, like really, it's not supposed to be that hard, guys. Like, you know, if you, this is kind of existential, and I'm gonna go there, okay? And if you have questions about this, let me know, like comment me or DM me and I will talk to you. But, you know, just look at, like, I'm gonna take it existential. Look at the trees outside of your window, okay? Like, look at the trees, look at the flowers, look at the grass, okay? Like, nature, right? Like, do you think that the tree grows and it struggles to grow and, like, you know, produce all these beautiful leaves, and then it falls out during the fall? Do you think that the tree just holds on to that leaf and says, don't fall off, like, I don't care, I hate you, wind? No, it just goes. And the tree just grows, you know, like abundantly without so much effort. It's natural. What I'm trying to learn nowadays is to kind of understand and learn how to apply that to my life and my journey too, and our human experience, is that we're not different than like other creatures and other things in nature. You know, yes, we are humans, we, you know, we have different IQs and things, but like really thinking about that, I think for me personally, it grounds me and it reminds me, like, yeah, like we are part of this planet. And, you know, just as trees and other things are just growing effortlessly and so beautifully, like us as humans, like we can treat our dreams and our desires that way too, and just let go and just enjoy and like follow our feelings. As long as you have that vision, I think we'll be fine. Ooh, I see you with your red cup.
Yeah. Gotta stay hydrated. Wow, that was amazing. I'm glad you went existential a little bit.
I hope that
people
makes
can get
sense.
to know you a little bit better, and then I kind of
it's a little, yeah. I mean, that's the sixth dimension. So yeah, that's basically learning how to exist in the sixth dimension, which is something that I'm always trying to tap into and try to introduce to you guys.
How are some ways that you tap into that?
Some ways. I think being yourself. Listening to my music.
Substance
shameless plug right there. And then, you know, really just taking that time to self-care and focus on yourself. You know, I know there's a lot of distractions out there. There's, you know, social media, which is a great thing, but also it can be hard on us sometimes, right? And just
individuality, really.
Right. So just growing you and like nurturing you inside, growing that substance, and then showing that more for yourself and for other people around you, because that inspires people. You know, I think doing that will just instantly, boom, like you'll be right in the sixth dimension. And then you have to tell me, because, you know, we all want to be in the sixth dimension.
That's so, wow, incredible. Would you say like yoga too would be a part of that? You kind of like meditate,
Absolutely.
tune in,
Yoga.
tap in.
Yes, yoga, meditating, and also just like taking a walk, you know, outside, or like connecting with someone you love or you care about. Just like just being in that good vibe, that good feeling vibe where you feel like you can actually go after what you want to do, even if it's like the smallest thing, you know. Sometimes, especially with COVID and everything, like, you know, there are times when like getting up and getting a cup of water or like taking vitamins is hard sometimes, right? Because you're just kind of like, you know, like, don't need to go nowhere, you know, just take it. But just doing that, like, you know, that'll help you kind of get out of your head, get out of your mind, and just like be present. And I think that those are some of the things that can help you. And also just like, you know, listen to good music, like I said. Yes.
Essentially listen to some AZRA music. So your music, you created on your own terms. It's always authentic, always made in an unconventional way. So tell me a little bit about what this means to you and why is this important to you?
Well, I think music is like, it's a universal language, right? It's also a frequency, I think. It's like, it's also energy. It's all energy. And like right now, me and you, even though like we're not physically in front of each other, like we're exchanging energy. Like I see these messages by all these folks who are here. Hi. Like that's energy too. So, you know, because music is like exchange of energy and frequency, like I think it's really, really important when, you know, us as music creators, it's important to really like be authentic and just be real, you know, when we're creating the music. So for me, it's like it has to be real. It has to be an experience. The song has to have meaning. It needs to be personal. It needs to have that, even if it's like a fun dance song, like you best know there's like a personal story behind that or feels behind that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And so what do you say would be the like the difference between going a conventional route within the music industry versus what you are doing?
I mean, I think nowadays a lot of artists are like, we are paving our own path, right?
Right.
And what that means is, it doesn't necessarily mean that like we're going outside of the conventional route. It's more like we're speaking out, and like, you know, we're more vocal about our messages. And that's how I see it. Like when I say that I'm going the unconventional route, it's more like I like to break molds. I like to, you know, say things and share ideas that feels really real to me, and in hopes of, you know, helping others, or like, you know, sharing that message. So that is what I mean when I say like unconventional route. I think that there are a lot of things in the industry that we all need to learn, and we are going with, and there are things that we can contribute that are like new ideas. So
Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
I do want to ask you about the entrepreneurship work that you do. Can you tell us what are some of the work that you do?
Sure. Some of the work I do, so on that end, so I published a book in 2013 called The Cupcake Theory. And that basically, so the book Cupcake Theory, it's actually available on my website. Check it out. It's a self-help inspirational book on self-worth and healthy relationships. So I came up with a theory after a breakup a while back, and basically realized that, you know, when you have a cupcake, you know, you should be your own cake instead of like letting the frosting take over who you are. So it all stemmed from, you know, just being yourself and being your own individual, and having your own substance instead of letting anything external to you like make you and kind of like shape you, right? So yeah, that's one of the things that I did. So with that book, I do a lot of motivational storytelling, you know, speaking at various schools. I've spoken at colleges, high schools, middle schools, organizations all around the country. I've done like tours with Barnes & Noble and things like that. And this was kind of like pre me going after my music. And what happened was, you know, the reason I published the book is because, you know, when I was going through my eye, I really couldn't do the things that I loved. And, you know, I was introduced to some self-help books then to kind of help me get out of my, you know, dark place. And that really helped me a lot, just, you know, learning about self-development and things. And when my eye got better, I realized, hey, like I've learned so much through, you know, reading books and hearing from other, you know, folks with so much experience. Like I dealt with this eye experience, so why not? And I've also learned some about dating and whatnot, so why not, you know, put something out? And I've always been talking about the Cupcake Theory with my girlfriends all the time. We'd be like, we'd be talking about like our relationship things, and then I'd be like, girl, you're not baking your own cake. And then and I'd be like, you gotta shave that frosting off. So, you know, from those moments, I realized, you know, why not share it?
Amazing analogy. Did you come up with that yourself?
I did.
How
My
did you
brother
come up
actually
with that?
inspired me, but yes.
Wow.
But yeah, so I ultimately realized after doing that, you know, I love to share ideas. At the same time, you know, my mission is to inspire other people and connect. And my passion is still music. So when my eye got better and everything, I was like, I'd love to merge the two. So now, you know, with my entrepreneurial stuff, I still go out and, well, not now as much, but, you know, do these motivational sessions. But now it's more of a concert. So I merge like music with motivational stuff.
Exactly. So why is it important to you that you go to like high schools and colleges and to like really focus on the youth? And what does it mean to you?
It's very important to me because I think that our children are our future, like as Whitney says, right? And to me, really, like, because like I mentioned, because I struggled with that idea of, you know, knowing that I can go after my passion growing up. Like nobody stopped me from going after my dreams. It was really like different experiences from different like, you know, circumstances that like made me think that for a little bit as a kid. So I think, and I know the impact that, you know, a child can have, or like a young person could have if like an artist or somebody, right, comes and says, hey, like you can actually go after your dreams. Like you are a bright star. Like if you have a little bit of desire to want to do something, like doubt and all of that, like it doesn't need to be there. So just like, I think that is the reason why I really, really am passionate about that.
That's amazing. So
yeah.
I just want to mention real quick for everyone tuned in and watching this right now that the Cupcake Theory, your book, is available on AZRAofficial.com. And I have pinned the website right there. So if anybody needs the website, it's already right there. It's just pinned on this chat. So it's Cupcake Theory. You can also purchase some merchandise. You have a lot of merchandise and also your book and bundles and different types of things on your website. So that's available, and I just want to put that out there for everyone who's tuned in. And since we're on the subject of high school and the youth, I just want to also mention that AZRA has opened up for Plain White Tees, which is like an awesome band. I always used to listen to them on their High School Nation tour, right? So how was that experience like for you to open up for such a huge band like that?
It was awesome. And it was my first like tour. So it was my first tour in Southern California after I released my EP Freedom, and being able to, you know, open for them and be able to share, you know, the tour with them. It was really, really amazing. I mean, they're talented as hell, and it was really, really awesome. Just like being on that circuit and being able to experience, yeah, it was my first tour, so there were a lot of things that I learned from it.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, it was amazing, and just being able to connect with thousands of high school students. It was an amazing experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, obviously your first tour, you're always gonna like pick up on things you it's a new experience, and that's meant to help you develop and grow as an artist, as a person. So and then you'll be able to adapt those lessons later on, furthermore, when you continue to do tours, which hopefully we can open up pretty soon, so that the tours can happen again. So what are some of your upcoming projects that you have, or releases that we should all be looking out for?
Absolutely. So, well, upcoming project actually. So this is an upcoming show, but before that, the election is coming up next week, and November 3rd. So make sure everybody goes out and vote. And yeah, so on election night, I will be putting on a streaming concert with I Voted Festival. So I actually shared a post about it on my Instagram, but it's basically it's the largest music festival like of the year. And basically, I'm going to be sharing the stage, virtual stage with 303 and a couple like other amazing bands and artists. And basically, we're putting on this concert to encourage young voters like you guys to go out and vote. So that's coming up on election night. So that's
where would we be able to tune into that one?
Sure. So it'll be, so if you go on ivotedfestival.com, you'll be able to RSVP there. And the cool thing about it is like you can RSVP it's a free show, but in order to attend the show, you just take a selfie of yourself with a blank ballot from home or yourself from a polling station. And you don't have to be, 18 plus to attend the show. So if you can't vote for whatever reason, then still take a selfie of yourself in front of a polling station, and then you RSVP on the website, and then they'll give you a link to attend my show, and it'll be so much fun, and it'll be literally like the whole night full of talented artists just, hanging out with you guys while the polls are, being counted. The votes are being counted.
Absolutely. I saw that you had already casted your vote. What was that experience like for you?
It was my first, it was a very, very learning, like an amazing experience. I did it through the mail-in ballot. And basically it was actually fun. So I got together with some of my closest friends, and then we just like read about each proposition, read about the candidates, and then just did our research and like talked about it, and then voted, and then we mailed it. And actually we actually dropped it off at a polling station instead of mailing in. So yeah, it was a great experience. So you guys should all do it if you haven't.
Absolutely. Thank you for that message. It's very important that we do deliver the message that everyone should be out there voting if you can. If you're over 18, then that means you can. So everyone should be out there voting.
Hell yes. Hell yes. And it's so important. So that's next week, 11/3.
There we go. I posted up ivotedfestival.com. This is where you can go and RSVP to see the fantastic show that is being put on. So I just quickly want to ask, what other types of collaborations do you see yourself being a part of?
That we're definitely talking about collaborations in terms of music for the future. I am planning to release more music before the year is over, so stay tuned for that. Yes, very, very soon, so stay tuned. And then in terms of other collaborations, I'm a huge student and fan of fashion. as well as beauty, like I mentioned. So we're always discussing collaborations with, different partners and creatives. So stay tuned.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. Make sure you follow if you aren't already. I wanted to ask about, will there be a music video for Hell and Back?
Ooh, great question. There is a lyric video.
Yep, and it's out. It's on YouTube. Again, you can stream Hell and Back, latest single that dropped July 24th of this year on all streaming platforms. And let's see, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Here you go. Great questions. In 5 years, that's a good question. Let's see. I hope that our world is in a better place. I hope that we're definitely out of this, pandemic, and that, we're all happier and better, and there's more love. So I definitely see that in 5 years. Yes. And then in terms of me, I hope that I see myself continuing to release music, connecting with more people all over the world. And then hopefully being able to go touring all over the world. That is my dream, is literally going all over the world and connecting with, everyone, and, music lovers, people with dreams, people, just people, and being able to put on amazing shows. Yes, I see myself doing a lot of that. Hopefully doing stadium tours. That is a dream. And then just continuing to create. And things like that.
Well, we are all looking forward to everything you have coming out. Everybody go follow right now if you're not already. But definitely be on the lookout and stream all of her music on all streaming platforms. It was such a great joy speaking with you tonight. It was really
You're amazing.
You're so amazing. I just love this synergy, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's been amazing, and thank you so much for coming on the Garnette Report.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I am so happy that you guys reached out. I read about what you guys do, just merging fashion with music, and with emerging to establish, to just kind of inspiring people.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, you guys.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, and I'll be looking out for you, AZRA. Thank you.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Have a good one. Take care.